Hello there, welcome back to Simon's Shed. It's time for another layout update on the Shed Valley Railway, which is my N-gauge version of part of the Severn Valley Railway. And exciting news, I've actually been to the Severn Valley Railway. Just the other day, the whole family went for a trip, went to the engine house, and yeah, it's the first time I've been on the actual real Severn Valley for quite some time, to be honest, and really enjoyed it. Although as I pulled onto the car park, I must say I did have a sort of a freak out moment, in as much as it feels like I'm driving through a model here, because I've been so focused on the sort of Kidderminster end of the layout. It was yeah, it was a little bit freaky for a moment, but yeah, while I was there I took a lot of reference photos for various details that I could add in, so they will be useful a little bit for now and a little bit for the future, for when I sort of add in more details. And as I say, had a really good time, and obviously I'm quite biased, but if you haven't visited the Severn Valley Railway, then definitely get down here if you can and give it a go. So yeah, we've been adding a bit more to the scenery, bought a few bits, some building kits and so on, and had a big delivery from Hatton's in the post, and also got a new vacuum cleaner. So let's have a look in the parcel. Let's have a look what goodies we've got this time. Now, a lot of these I'll do a separate video on, because I finally got around to ordering the rest of that freight train I mentioned a few videos ago. So we got those and those, etc. You get the idea. And there's actually another one of these to come from Dapol, because I kind of bought the entire stock of Hatton's. So apologies if you were trying to buy N-gauge containers from Hatton's. It was me that bought them all up. And similarly, I got the mega frets to put the containers on. As I say, I'll get all this set up and do a separate video on this, I think. Should be good. Yeah, there's not much left now, is there? I got a couple of these because I've seen some exactly like this at the Severn Valley on the recent trip I mentioned. So yeah, and they look really good. I did buy a few other bits while I was on the Severn Valley, and I'll show you those shortly. Just some wagon wheels, or coach wheels, for part of the scenery, and some more figures and so on. But this is all about sort of line side buildings for the turntable area. So I got a couple of those. That looks good. So I need to build that, and we need to build this, a couple of line side huts. Good that it's all pre-coloured, less painting for me to do, and some concrete huts as well that we also need to build. Oh, and one more thing, a couple of huge fans of the channel were watching last time when I mentioned that some bits of scenery had disappeared up the Hoover, and I was fishing around in the Hoover bag to get those back. They very kindly bought me this from Amazon. It's a mini car vacuum which you charge by USB, and just over £20, and it's just the right sort of power level for cleaning your model railway. I should probably say those two fans of the channel are my mum and dad, so thanks for that. So yeah, now if I do accidentally suck anything up the hoover from the layout, it's very easy to get it back, and I'll put a link in the description if you're interested. So let's have a look at the rest of the bits and what I've actually done on the layout itself. So nothing's changed over at Arley, I don't think. As we sweep round, I did notice on my Severn Valley visit that's pretty much the right place for that house. It's a bigger house in real life, but yeah, I'm glad I put that there, because it does actually represent the sort of big farmhouse type thing that's really there. Not managed to fix the water yet. I might leave that until after I've finished all the scenery around the corner that I'm about to show you, but I might even try and take it off. And thanks for all the suggestions, those that made suggestions on how to fix it. I've tried heating it and that didn't really do much. I've tried sort of flattening it out with a weight and a flat board, which has helped a little bit. But I did watch the Luke Towan video, and he uses 2-part epoxy. So you can sort of colour that as well with a dye. So hopefully that'll be a more permanent thing. But yeah, it might involve trying to get this up, which could be tricky. So we'll see how we go. That's why I want to leave it for now. I've not actually planted any of those trees yet, have I? But yeah, still got that box of trees to plant at the moment. I think we're all the same as before until we get to this bit where we've got some more security fence that came, and that's just drying, being held in place there. So we've gone across there. Not sure where we got to last time, but I've finished this bit off with the fencing and a bit there as well. So that's going to join up to there. I might need to buy another pack, but that's fine. Also bought, this is from 3D Prints, 3D Printing and Supplies on eBay. Also bought some sort of line side fence. Not these are sort of gas cylinders that I've had for a while. Another thing I got was this kit from Nightwing, which is the sort of storage tanks kit. So I've put those in place there, and I kind of built it wrong, but it was a kind of a lucky mistake in that I stuck 2 of these halves together, whereas I should have stuck 1 half of that with 1 smooth half. That's how you're supposed to build a kit. But then I realised that the other thing I wanted these sort of tanks for was the turntable. Actually has 2 tanks on the side. I guess they're some kind of, whether it's compressed air or what, I don't know, but something to do with powering the turntable. So I stuck those on. They are too big, really. They're bigger than the prototype. But they look okay. Again, I might come back and fix those at a later date with some smaller ones, but I'll come back onto that. And I found the in the box the actual sort of hut that goes on there. I believe the Severn Valley one is actually more sort of open. It's a bit like this, but it doesn't have the roof. But I quite like the look of that, so I decided to leave it. I've covered the rest of this with brick paper and just left it like that for now. and started sticking down a few of those gas bottles. We have, if you remember from last time, we had the skips, so we've now weathered and filled the skips with rubbish, and we've picked up some figures. There we go, the civil engineering figures from Farish, these sort of scene craft ones. And now I've turned the camera around, I should be able to get the lens closer to the surface and give you a good look at those. So that's a nice little scene there. So they're having a bit of a discussion about what to do next, but unfortunately a couple of the gang have decided not to listen, and they've gone off and gone right ahead and started to dig holes in the layout. So yeah, they're really nice and detailed, those figures. Hopefully that's coming across on the camera. Oh, and I did find the handrails for the turntable kit as well, so I'll stick those on. But yeah, I'll not say too much about it at the moment, but I mentioned those tanks being too big. If I really want the right size tanks, I would have to make my own, and it's not easy to make plastic tanks unless you've got a 3D printer. So I know I'm late to the game on this one, but yeah, I've been thinking for any sort of future rounds of improvements to the layout, it might be time to get into 3D printing. I've seen the prices of them sort of seem really quite reasonable now for the amount of detail you can print. So yeah, I'm not going to do it at the moment because I know it'll completely distract me from doing the rest of the scenery, because I think it is something you need to really research and get your head around. But for now, I have managed to integrate another of the previous buildings from Boddenham Woods into the scenery there. So that looks good. I've built the scale model scenery containers. So that's a laser cut wood kit. So I put on my very attractive magnifying headset thingy, because there are some very small parts that you might be able to see on the end there. But yeah, they went together pretty well. Fairly easy to build. Just, yeah, definitely recommend a magnifying glass and tweezers or one of those magnifying headsets. And yeah, just painted them up in I think it was an enamel, Humbrol enamel colour that seemed appropriate, and they look good. I did notice as I was on the train along here, you can see the side of rows of houses, of modern sort of houses. So I might print out some photos of the sides of houses if I can find them, and stick those along there. That's to do. But if we move down, we've done a bit more. So these are stuck down now, and as I mentioned, those coach wheels, you may have noticed if you've been on the Severn Valley, they do tend to have a row or rows of wheels just sitting around there, waiting to be used, I guess, or refurbished or something. But yeah, they're definitely there, so I've added them. It was easy to add them into the model. And there is also a coal storage sort of unit there, so I've added that in as well, and used some of the Woodland Scenics fine cinders, I think it is, and that looks quite good, I think. And you can see my traditional way of adding figures propped up against cars. So these are some of the train No, these are station staff, I believe. Again, the Farish Scenecraft ones. So that should be dry now, shouldn't it? Once again, I've stuck the car to the... There we go. There we go. And I think that's where we are up to. Not done much, if anything, down here. But, yeah. As you can see from that, the reference photos that I showed earlier, still plenty to do. So I've carried on working and I have been planting a few trees. There's one or two around here, such as that one being propped up while it dries, and a few more along the back, and some more in the forest as you come across the bridge. And you can never have too many trees, really. I've pretty much used them all up. Got a few dotted around here, and a huge tree there by the footbridge, because there is a massive tree there in real life. And it carries on along there. So that looks a lot more like the real thing now with all those trees added. So I'll add the last few. And also found a use for those old lemur coaches, which I'm going to leave there as sort of part of the scenery, because there are sort of wagons and coaches stored over in that bit. And a few more trees there as well. Still got loads to do down there, but not got round to any of that yet. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of tree planting and a lot of running of trains, so I'll carry on with both of those things, but I'll leave the video there for now. So thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.